Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David and this is a deck review. Today we're going to look at the Gaff deck from First Magic Studio. This deck is currently available at Penguin Magic. I believe it's $12. I've seen it a couple of other places, but I think Penguin has got the best price, so if you want to pick it up, I would definitely recommend that you get it from there. This deck is a lot like some other Gaff decks you might be familiar with, and then a lot different. And the first of which would make it different is the price. $12 is super cheap for a Gaff deck. I've seen Gaff decks as high as $25, $30, $40. Sometimes they even come with DVDs and they're $60 to $80. So definitely, if you're into Gaff cards, pick these up before they are gone. The first thing you'll notice about the tuck case is that it is split in half perfectly. From one side, it could be a blue bicycle deck, and from the other side, it can be red. It does say Gaff deck across the front, though, so I don't think you'd ever flash this whole deck to someone other than to say, hey, look at this crazy box. It does say they're printed by the United States Playing Card Company. Of course, they're going to be their standard stock, their air cushion finish. There's some ad copy on the bottom, and the standard deck seal. There is a card reveal of a 10 of spades on the tuck flaps, but again, I don't know why you would ever show this deck of cards to a layperson, so it seems kind of pointless. Another thing I like about this deck is there are no back embellishments, and what I mean by that is, yes, there are some double facers, yes, there are some double backers, so there's some effect on the front and sometimes the back of the cards. However, there is no changed or Gaff back designs. What I mean by that is some of the Gaff decks, you'll sit there and stare at a card forever and you'll go, I can't remember what makes this a Gaff card. And you'll be spinning it all around and going, I don't know what is different. And then you'll look at the back design, you know, the rider back, the famous 808 design, and you'll be looking at it and going, oh, I see. They wrote 3 of hearts and it's scroll work in the back design, or they move this angel from one side to the other. None of that is in this deck. You'll be able to look at every single one of these cards and immediately know what makes it a Gaff card, and that's kind of cool. One of the things I did is going through this deck, I was able to break the cards down into categories. And so you're going to see a couple of different categories and how I've grouped the cards together, so hopefully they'll make a little bit more sense. Let's spin the camera around and take a close-up look at these cards.
Okay, and these are a couple of the cards. I'm going to call them copycat cards. They're not exactly copies of other Gaffs, but they're very close. So I will show you what they are and kind of give you a little bit of what I think inspired them. This first one here, this is very similar to a card that's in the Ultimate 3-Card Monte by Michael Skinner. These 2 cards here, these are both this blurred pip here and the Fallen. These 2 cards are very similar to some finale cards that are in the effect Presto Printo by a magician named Daryl. This card here is exactly like the finale card in an effect called Entwined Hearts by Zenith Cock. The only difference is his card doesn't have this duplicate 2 of hearts on the back, so that makes this card a little different. This card is very similar to the 3.5 card that Murphy's Magic produces. And then this set right here is very similar to the Queen effect from Ultra Gaff that Daniel Garcia and Wayne Houchin created, although this card is not entirely the same. If you held them up side by side, they're not completely identical. So that's a little bit of the copycat cards from the Gaff deck. Alright, with this deck you're also going to get 3 jokers, and each one of them is a little different. This joker here is a identical joker on the back, and then this joker here has a blank back, and then this joker here has a washed out red back. With this deck, you're also going to get 5 ESP cards. The ESP cards are simply the star, the cross, the circle, the square, and the wavy lines. The only difference with these ESP cards that you would find with other ESP cards is that these are double-sided, which really don't make a whole lot of sense, because the point of ESP cards is to show them to your spectator while being able to tell them what they're looking at by ESP. But of course, if you can see the backs, then they don't really work. But I'm sure you could come up with another effect for them nonetheless. With the Gaff deck, you're also going to get this group of novelty cards. I'm calling them novelty cards because they're not really cards I would want to leave in the hands of a spectator. They're clearly Gaffs, clearly manufactured, and it's not the way I would want to do card magic. The first is this 21 of spades, which of course in the game of 21 you'd only need 1 card. You have a twisted king, you have an exploded queen, you have this king who's moved his sword, You have this king who's got a really funny face. You've got this blurred 5. You've got this double kind of melding together card. You have these two opposite color cards, and then you have this 2 of hearts that's black in the center but red in the pips. Here's a group of cards that you could turn into an effect if you were so inclined. All of them kind of relate together. This 5 of hearts has an 8 of spades on the back, and as you see, this 8 of spades has a little 5 of heart pip, so you could pretend that you rub the pips from the 5 off onto this card. And then this card here has a reversed image of a 5 of spades on the back. So you could do an effect where you kind of like Daryl's Presto Printo, where you're moving these cards together and they're rubbing off on each other. Here's another group of cards that seem linked together by some unknown effect that you don't get any instructions for. Clearly you see that there's a 5 of clubs theme going throughout here. You could certainly take this pip here and slide it that way, and then that card is normal. But see, on the back here you have a faded 7 of hearts like you do here, so you could do something where there's a transfer. So this group of cards would obviously be put together in some sort of mysterious deck printing effect as well. And I suppose you could do some sort of effect with these, probably with some sort of change, top change or color change, where you took one of the heads from these pips and slid it down to the other one. I don't know that you'd want to do it 3 times, but certainly you could do some sort of creepy effect with these cards. I'm going to call all of these cards revelation cards, as they clearly have some sort of a reveal in them. These would be ending tricks that you would do with a card maybe that you had forced on somebody. So this 3 has a little 7 there in the corner. This kind of has a foggy boxes kind of effect, like a stained shower glass window of a 6 of hearts. You've got a blurred 5 of spades there. You've got a corner reveal here. You've got 2 cards that are blurring together here. This one looks wispy, like smoke, like maybe you had a blank card and then you waved it in the air in the cigarette smoke and it made that effect. You have a kiss here, and then you have the 10 of diamonds forming a 9. Also in the Gaff deck, you are going to get this all-on 1 card, but it's not an all-on 1 card because 1 card, as you can see, is turned over. It is in the spade row, so you would assume it would be a spade, but it's actually a heart, because you can see out of all the cards, it's the 3 of hearts that's missing. These are going to be your double-sided utility cards. I call them utility cards because they're clearly cards that are meant to be invisible. You're going to do some sort of an effect with these cards, and the spectator will never know that you had a gaff. This is, of course, the card box, the new bicycle card box. Some of the Gaff decks that are out previously had the old cover. It does have a double side, but another card on the back. This is your double backer. This is a double backer, but it just has a little hint of blue. This is a double facer, clearly meant as a card stack, but then on the back you could hide it as a single card. This is a double-sided card, so that you could hide it that way, or you could hide it that way. And of course you can hide that card as a face card. These here are your single-sided utility cards. On the back sides, it's just a regular red back. This one is very strange because technically an ace wouldn't have 2 pips out there, it would have a single pip in the center. I don't really know what you'd do with this. This card clearly is meant to look like more than 1 card. This card is a double pip into C. This one is also a double pip into C. This one could clearly be 1 card or the other. This card is also meant to appear like several cards or 1.
Hey, so that's it for this deck review. As always, we recommend that you like this video just so other people can find it a little bit faster. We also recommend that you subscribe to this channel just to stay up to date on the latest in cards and cards magic. There's a lot coming. We also recommend that you follow us on Twitter. There's things on Twitter that you don't see anywhere else, and so our Twitter channel has some interesting stuff, which is twitter.com/magicorthodoxy. You can also follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/magicorthodoxy. Again, there's stuff on there, pictures and things that you won't see anywhere else, and Instagram. I Instagram a lot of the packages I get. I don't always do box reveals where I open my packages, but I do a lot of that kind of behind the scenes stuff on my Instagram account, so you might want to check that out as well. Thanks. Bye.